You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. What's up? How's everybody feeling? We are back with another episode of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. That's Marcus. That's Jessica.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling?
Solid, brother. Solid. And yourself?
Good. I wanted to talk to you guys today about an email that we got from a woman that I think you guys may have experienced this before. So we definitely would need your advice and your enlightenment to help this lady get through this situation. It has to do with children walking in at a very bad time. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey guys. So here's my question. That awkward, horrible, embarrassing moment when your 13-year-old daughter walks in on you and your husband having adult time. Yes, my room door was closed. It's a long story, but she always barges in. I feel embarrassed. Should I feel this way? Not sure how to approach this. Oh my God. I want to cry and laugh. I have so many mixed feelings. It's all bad. Help.
Good times.
So are you waiting to address this issue until we respond? I'm like, okay. I mean, I would be embarrassed. It's you know, technically it's not supposed to be embarrassing because sex is, you know, natural, blah, blah, blah. But we all know that the culture has made it fucking weird to have sex. But anyways, with your 10-year-old walking in, I mean, it depends.
13.
Ooh, 13-year-old? Oh, well, then you need to have your 13-year-old should already know what's happening. And you're embarrassed. Do you know how the 13-year-old feels is the question. I think going kind of off how the 13-year-old reacted or whatever, maybe that's where you figure out how you're going to approach the situation and what to say. But your embarrassment, I mean, were you on your knees?
She didn't go into detail of what position.
Well, that matters.
It does matter.
It does matter.
It matters a lot.
Because you can play a lot of things off with different positions. So were you on your knees? Did you have the blanket off? Were you guys fully butt-ass naked? These are all things. What did the 13-year-old see?
Clearly she saw enough that it's bothered her. Like, if we get rid of all the hypotheticals, clearly the kid saw enough that it's making the mom sick to her stomach.
But it could just be the mom's issue. It might have freaked the kid out, but I'm not sure if the kid is traumatized from it. You know, it's those things like when you get older and you realized that you might have walked in and your parents were having sex. It's like, ugh, gross. But then it's like, well, we do the same thing type thing, or we're going through the same thing right now. So, yeah.
I don't think it's one of those things that somebody needs to step up and make light of it. A 13-year-old, you can have a partial conversation, I think, of what's going on, right? And at this point, not like
I
that.
thought you were going to say a partial.
No.
I'm like,
no, not a partial erection. That's not what I'm referring to, but kind of like joke about the conversation. Oh, me and your mom were having some fun time together, or you know, we love each other, so this is what we do when we love each other. But
she's not 5.
I know, but those aren't the right words. But what I'm saying is, as a dad, I'm trying to think of what my dad would do, right? And my dad would be pretty frank about it, pretty straight up. And
he would
laugh and joke, and then it would take like take the embarrassment away. Just kind of laugh about it, make light of it. This is what we do as a married couple.
You know
right?
what you started with?
What?
Does it look like in the movies? That's what you can break the ice that
What
way.
type of movies?
Did it look like in the movies? Because if you don't think this 13-year-old has been exposed to some type of sexual sex scene in a movie or something like that.
I thought you were talking about X-rated movies.
No, it's Did it look like in the movies? What you thought it would be, or like
now that's awkward.
Oh, sorry.
That's making it more awkward.
I think it's funny.
How did we compare to the Skinamax?
It's a joke. How did we compare? How did we compare? And then everybody's going to be weirded out. We're all going to laugh together, and then it's going to be like, it'll happen to you one day too.
Make light of it. It is uncomfortable though, so we can all be honest about that. I can't just sit up here and say, okay, yeah.
I'd die.
But it's one of those things. It happened, and it's not the end of the world. So for this mom to be overly embarrassed, and I don't know if she's walking around on eggshells now. She may not want to have sex.
I need to know what was being done. You never know.
You need the details.
She could have seen some shit.
Well, yeah, that makes a difference.
She could have seen some shit.
It makes a difference on how generous she was being with her husband.
Right. What was going on? Like, at what part did you walk in? What
There's levels of generosity,
what was happening?
I mean, what did it sound like?
That's what...
Question, guys. Do you stop?
Hell yeah, okay, Kel. Okay, it's one thing to walk in, but you don't know what...
You don't stop. It just depends, though, how generous we're being. Like, you could smooth the waters out a little bit, but you don't have to stop, right? You guys
sound crazy. That's
you can
crazy.
Smooth the waters. You don't have to completely stop.
You don't want to traumatize her.
I know, but if you smooth the waters, it seems like that's just natural movement. That's just natural.
He is blowing all of the smoke on these cameras, this mic, and up your ass. He would be
living
mortified.
Off experience.
He would be mortified.
I'm living off experience, and that's you.
You would too.
No, that's more you. Like you're like doing the Matrix. If you can hear the door and all that stuff, if you hear the door and you hear the footsteps, you're like slow motion. I don't know.
Somebody has to care.
I do care, but
somebody has to react.
Hiding in plain sight is usually a little bit better. When you overdo it and you panic, that's how every good criminal has been caught, right? They panic and so.
But let's say like, and I have experience with this, but not with a child walking in. But I had an ex-girlfriend eons ago where her dad walked in.
Jesus.
And I was waxing that thing from the back, and I didn't stop, but I kind of like paused and kind of like looked over to the door, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he closed the door. And he talked to the door. He goes, "I'm so sorry, you guys. I was just letting you know that I was heading to the store." And then like I kind of was mortified.
If you wanted anything, Kel, you want anything?
I know. Can I get you anything? Do you need any water? You look like you're working hard. Is that position okay for you,
parched,
honey?
Right. Yeah, right. Son, you look parched. Just wearing my daughter out. But yeah, no, stop. And we kept going. But like I stopped.
Oh my God.
Kind of stopped, but I just looked over and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then I just went back to handling my business. So I mean, no, Jess, no,
it's guys. Both of you guys have had the same reaction, and it's probably because
slow it down.
You can't stop. You don't want to stop.
We
really
don't want to.
You don't want to stop.
There's nothing wrong with that. But we have the state of mind to know, okay, there has to be
somebody needs to stop.
A downshift. It's got to be a downshift. You got to slow this thing down. You got to calm down a little bit. You got to relax.
Yeah.
Act like there's nothing going on, but there still is something going on.
I agree. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. It's like
he's lying.
Jess, Jess, he brings up a valid
you
point.
Can't see.
Like this.
You're looking this way. You're looking at the door, and you're focused on the kid.
If we get caught, we're both turning. You're talking about like if somebody kind of knocks and opens the door. No, I'm talking about you get busted wide. You're not going to be like, "Ooh, we're just going."
Are you talking no blanket?
A little bit.
Are you talking no blanket? Like,
yeah,
I got my toes out. Well, that's what I'm saying.
We don't really know.
There is levels
exactly
to it.
what happened.
I will agree with that. But if all is fair and everything is aligned like it's supposed to be, just slowing down is okay. In the situation with Kel. Yeah.
You just kind of stay on top and just kind of hover? Is that what you're saying?
Or you kind of can slowly roll to the side. But you don't have to fly out the bed because that makes it even more obvious.
That makes it more weird. Yeah. I feel like, especially if you, and Marcus, you know about this as a dude, don't let me be getting my stroke. Because if I'd have got that stroke going and that motion in the ocean is going, y'all gonna have to watch this because you can't, no one told you to barge into this room. So this is the consequences of barging into this room.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's the biggest fear, is that it's that time and there's no way there's any type of clipping or stoppage. So I would be traumatized if I walked in during that part. I would be like, what the fuck? This is how it is. I don't know. It's just like, oh my God, I die. All right.
There's worse things that could happen to a kid.
Yeah.
So I think it.
I wonder if it's abuse.
What do you mean?
Like, if your kid continually walks in on you doing that, could you like consider that a form of
somebody just went to jail for that, as a matter of fact.
Emotional
I seen something
abuse
on social media. I don't know if you guys seen it because y'all ain't on there like that, but it was a guy and they said that he was kind of running a cult or something like that, and he'd be having sex in front of his kids, and he got in trouble for it.
Oh, that's
I heard about something like that.
Yep. It was a black dude, and they said he was running a cult and all this other stuff. I don't got all the details,
in front of his kids. Really? Was it all that serious?
So there is some research out here on how damaging it is for kids to witness their parents' sexual activity. So I guess there are kids that are affected by it, but you got to think about it too, which it makes sense. It's like if you have a preteen or a kid that has just never been exposed to sexual activity before, like on a serious note, and they walk in and see something like this, like I could see that messing with their head a little bit, especially if you've never been exposed, you've never had any kind of sexual education, I could see it being a little weird. I could see it messing with the kid's head.
Communication has to be next then. Like, I mean, if it's like that, you want to
talk about it.
Yeah.
Then.
You want to talk about it. And you just want to be clear. Yeah. You want to get some clarity there and talk them down a little bit. But again, I think there's worse things that could happen. But in that situation, Kel, that you just mentioned, a real conversation needs to take place.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say though, Jess? Yeah, I just want to know what
we would have to start from the beginning. The birds, the bees, all of these things, and kind of go into it and then be like, hey, this is what we were doing. And you won't understand it now, but it's fucking fantastic and it's necessary. So yeah.
I'm gonna write that down too. We got that on video.
It's fucking fantastic and it's necessary. Yeah. So, you don't understand now, but I would say in 20 years, or depending upon the age, 10, 12, or whatever, come see me. Come see me and you'll thank me for telling you that it is wonderful and amazing and fair. All those things.
That is fair.
Come see me.
And do you guys think that it's easier for a parent to have this kind of conversation with a boy than it is a girl? And if, let's say, your daughter walks in, does mom go and have the conversation with her? Or does dad have the conversation with her? Or does both parents? I feel like it's easier with a boy because boys are a little more lower maintenance. It's like, hey, son, look, like, I don't know.
Right. And boys are probably like, that's what it's supposed to do.
Damn it.
that is it. So it might be easier to talk to boys because they're probably like, I want that.
I think it's the healthiest, even though it's uncomfortable for everybody involved. I think it can be the healthiest if both parties involved talk to the kid. Both parents talk to the kid.
I think so. Because it's weird if only one parent talks to, because both parents were involved.
But it might be easier for you to talk to the girl and for me to talk to the boy. It's just at first glance, that looks the easiest. But
get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think to get uncomfortable, I think that's good.
Uncomfortable.
But let's all talk about it.
because we have had uncomfortable when we talk to our kids about sex. We're both, after I took the class with them, we go to Marcus and we talk, and it's like,
yeah, it's healthy.
It's
healthy
awkward,
conversation,
but it's necessary. So
if it ain't us, it's going to be their friends or people in the street, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I feel like as a boy,
mm-hmm.
you know, a young man, your mom is the first woman that you ever fall in love with, right? And same with the girl. Her dad is the first man she'll ever fall in love with, and is the person that's supposed to show her how a man is supposed to treat her, right? Just walking in on your mother, just getting the dog shit just crushed out of her.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if I could stomach that. Because that's my mom, and I love my mom, and seeing your mom like hanging off the side of the bed, just like can't do, you know what I mean? It's like just completely helpless, like that. I feel like I'd die inside a little bit.
Of course you do.
You might, but that's why it's important to have a discussion, and it's also important to remind them that this will be you. You can say, no, it's nasty. No. You're going to experience this in your life.
I think that has to be
okay.
I think that has to be age appropriate.
Well, age appropriate, not when you're like a toddler or 5 or 6 or 7. I'm talking about
a teenager,
a 13-year, even a 13-year-old. Like,
they know what time it is.
They can handle it, because sometimes not even. You got to know your kid, right? Know your audience who is watching. Okay, know your kid. Because you can, maybe it's not okay to approach them at the time, or maybe you got to give them time to maybe process it and bring it up at a later date. Maybe you joke about it or something, like you said. So you got to kind of
know your audience. I like that. Mm-hmm. Definitely want to know your audience.
Because
you don't want to come in.
They witnessed the show. So
don't want to come in too hot for somebody that's not mentally and that they don't have the maturity to have that conversation.
Right. Because they really don't. It's like not even 18-year-olds or like adults in general. People are, anyways.
I mean, listen. If you were to walk in on your mom in a compromising, not saying your mom, but just say like a mom, right? Just your kid or a teenager, and you walking on your mom in a compromising position. But it's not just like, oh, missionary or dad just hitting it from the back. Like you walking on some like wild shit of like some like my mom's a whore. Like, you know what I mean? Like my mom takes it like that. Like
they might not know what it is. If they don't know what it is, they wouldn't know. How would they know that it's?
Listen, dad might be sitting here grabbing mom by the throat and spitting in her mouth. Like, like what do you do? What do you do when you see something like that?
I don't know, but that shit happens.
Conversation. It's all a conversation. Things.
I don't really know how people do different things in the bedroom.
Right.
Some people like that when you spit, but you're not supposed to spit on people, at people, nothing. We don't even want to share drinks, and you're spitting in mommy's mouth. I mean, there are many.
There's a way to bring it back home, though. There's always
because we love each other.
There's a way to handle the narrative and make sure you shift that in the right direction. And you can say anything. And you might want to study up on it and do some research and look at what really works best to manipulate a child into believing
just imagine
anything you say.
Keeping that secret and then one day being like, I saw my dad spit in my mom's mouth. What can
and
you
choke
say?
her at the same time,
right?
And it looked like they were having fun.
Everybody don't get down like that. So I would be like, what the fuck is wrong with your parents? Leave immediately. Call CPS. There's some abuse happening. Something's gotten it's disrespectful all the way around.
I'm telling you, if you see some like disrespectful, it's like I saw my mom get disrespected. She was on her knees and my dad had her by the throat and was spitting in her mouth. Like what? Like
oh my God.
I don't know if I'd look at my parents the same. Like real shit. I'd be like, what the fuck are y'all into? Like, what the fuck?
And we got to keep it square, man. It's equal opportunity. So, if the dad is I guess, getting dominated or something, and you got the mom with the whip and the dad got the leather mask on, etc. And it's really, it's going down.
I can't.
There's just some explaining to do. Man,
why are we going so deep into detail? Like, we have so many hypotheticals going right now. And they're so ratchet.
No, because this could happen, though. And this is happening every day.
It is. Right? Kids is walking in on their parents.
Kids walk in, and how do you come back from
hanging from the ceiling fan?
Right. Man, how do you come back is what we're talking about. And I think there's a conversation for everything, right?
There's a conversation.
Yeah. We're still good parents. We still love you, but
there's a conversation. And once they realize it and they're of age and they go through things, maybe they don't spit in their partner's mouth while choking them. But you'll get it. You'll get it. Because guaranteed, the freak that your parents are probably going to be passed down. So
that's fair.
Is that a thing? Does freak get passed down?
Through genes?
Probably just like any other genetic thing.
That's what I'm saying. Do you really pass down your sex drive, your, whatever?
I'm gonna have to look that up. I think so, though.
Shoot, my grandfather on my dad's side had like 15 brothers and sisters. My grandma on my mom's side had like 9 or 12 brothers and sisters. Yeah, it definitely passed down to my family.
Right. Same for me. Yeah, there's always everybody got a
plethora of children on your side of the family. Yeah.
So it's like, I guess my thing is like, your parents are adults. They're going to do what they do. But do you think at the same time that parents need to be more conscious of when they're doing the nasty and their kids are home, of like, hey, like the kids are home, maybe we shouldn't try to have a quickie while all the kids are running around in the house?
That's when you should.
Kids don't own this house. Kids don't run this house.
Put a lock on your door.
Kids work around
I cannot say anything. And I'm not talking about one of those old school click, click. No, you need a key to unlock the door. That's what we have. A fucking deadbolt. Invest in it. It's like, it'll be one of the best investments you make as a parent.
True. I can
second that. It's a deadbolt on your door. That. Not only are you protected and in your safe zone when you're having sex, but you're just in your safe zone, period. The kids can knock at the door and you can just be silent and they'll think you're asleep. They won't be able to get in to know that you're fucking faking. Like, seriously.
Not that
he would never allow it, but I love to play possum.
Do we do that?
No, but right. I will.
Yeah.
Especially when they're not in distress and they're just knocking at your fucking door for the sake of knocking.
It's okay to need a break too. So to all parents out there, is nothing wrong with having a lock on your door and telling your kids, okay, we're taking some downtime right now. It ain't always about sex. You just need a break from the kids, right? Summertime is coming up. The kids are going to be out of school. They're going to be here all day. We need a break. Don't come in my room unless somebody's bleeding.
It's funny how, like, you guys say, like, you should get a lock on your door. And I feel like every parent out there is like, yeah, like, totally, like, I have a lock on my door now, right?
Right.
But then when you're like, no, a deadbolt, like, for some reason, like, that is like wild to me. I'm like, a deadbolt, like, god damn, like,
are they need a key.
Popping the lock?
They need a key to get in.
They would pop the lock, yeah, and not only just to come in the room, but to steal hair products and snack and everything else.
That's another thing. Yeah,
so
I need a lock. I need to deadbolt my. Yep. Because there's one person in particular that just won't stay the fuck out of my shit.
Damn, Kenny. But
she's going to see this too. She's going to see this too. So,
Kenny, this isn't my fault. You see, your mother brought it up, right?
She did get mad at Kel. She tried to get at Kel.
Right? Just the audience to know, Kenny likes to get at me because she thinks that I make her parents say crazy things about her. No. Kenny, as you could see, your mother.
She did that on her own.
I'm just telling the truth. And I didn't even say her name. You did. So again, you're in trouble.
No, I didn't. No, you egged me on. Sorry. Nope.
I set you up.
You lured me. You set me up and lured me in. No, okay, so to wrap up, best piece of advice for this lady: have a conversation with your kid. Your kid's 13. Your kid's probably done already had sex ed. So just let them know, hey, this is how you became about, right? This is what mommy and daddies do. And then I kind of agree to, well, not kind of agree, but I do agree with the lock. With the deadbolt might be a little extreme, but I guess maybe due to the circumstances that you guys have 5 kids and you're outnumbered, that the deadbolt's kind of like the way you got to go about it. But I do agree with the lock on the door.
Yeah, that's help.
It's an extra teammate. And you know, one more thing, the girl, this is a lesson. She probably won't bust in the room again.
Knock first.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, she'll probably knock first. So I wouldn't even go to the room.
Experience is the best teacher, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we told y'all to knock.
Traumatized is the best.
We told y'all to knock.
Like, fuck.
This is why.
Oh, one other thing too. Before I know we're wrapping up, but what are you guys' thoughts on these parents that do have sex when their kids are home, are loud about it, and they don't care?
My thing is, calm it down. All the fucking hooping and hollering and shit. I mean, I swear people get a lot of that shit from movies. It's like, are we really, do we need to scream and yell? I don't know. I think it's a preference. Shut the fuck up when your kids are in the vicinity. Like,
well,
unless you're going to tell them what's happening, shut up.
In all fairness, that is some people's thing, and that's just what they do, and that's how they get down.
But it's a choice.
Maybe no, but I'm saying that's their thing, and maybe it's a choice, but they can't really. They have to think hard to control that. They have to think long and hard to control that, right? But
long and hard to control what?
Their way they express themselves during sex. Everybody's different, right? So you just can't tell people to shut up and be quiet because that's not their way of doing it. They need to be mindful. I think they need to be mindful of their kids. All that to say, they do need to be mindful, but it's
I didn't say
harder
don't
for
make
some.
noise. You can, but all the theatrics, you can bring that shit down.
Agreed.
That's all I'm saying. Of course, you know, I know. Don't get me wrong. Don't act like, oh God, you don't make any noise. No, it's not like that. But I'm for fuck sure not screaming when my kids are next door, below me, doing things like that and banging up the head fucking board. You got to curb that shit. And if you don't care, which I think is, I don't know. I don't even want to hear that. If it was a roommate situation, I don't want to hear screaming, banging, and hollering all the time. But
you understand. It's different when it's adults, but for a kid who's not
right, exactly. So for a kid
mentally,
come on, parents,
prepared for that, I think there is a line that needs to be drawn.
My parents are always screaming.
Are they working out or what are they?
Kid be outside the door talking about, what is he doing to my mom? She sounds like she's in pain.
I do wonder though if the sound travels that far.
Oh, I mean, if you're in there, all extra loud and shit,
they listening.
Sound got to go somewhere.
Oh well,
it's my thing. And we're pretty strategic, so we're good.
I know, but anyways, we're not screaming. I know that.
I might be screaming from time to time, so I have to think about it. I have to make sure that I control myself. And
but we're not screaming. We're just not. We're not doing it.
Word.
Okay.
All right. Well, I hope this lady has a conversation with her daughter, possibly puts a lock on her door. And like you said, Jess, which we totally forgot about, but I agree 110%. This is probably a very good lesson for the daughter to know not to just barge in the room ever again unless you're going to see some shit that you do not want to see.
If you want to see a show, keep coming in the room. Keep busting in that door.
Truly Unruly, y'all. Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Follow us on all things social at trulyunruly_podcast. And of course, you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform. Please like, subscribe, leave a review, and you can catch the visual by searching Truly Unruly Podcast on YouTube. And you can catch us every Sunday on Converge. If you have a question like this lady's question and you want us to answer it, you can email us at trulyunrulypodcast@gmail.com. Boom.
I hope we help.
All right, y'all. Yeah, I think we helped. She seemed pretty desperate, so I think we kicked her enough. I kicked her enough knowledge. I mean, we gave her a ton of game. I think she's pretty armed at this point.
You have several options.
All right, y'all. Yep. Till next time. Peace and much love.